Hey everybody, my name is Gavin and I love horror. With the release of the latest Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, there is once again dissent among the horror fandom of what actually makes a good horror movie. Now, the critics did not like Texas Chainsaw Massacre at all, and a lot of fans also hated it. But I'm not here to review Texas Chainsaw Massacre as a whole. Instead, I want to look at the standard of which we judge slasher movies, because I think for a long time, slashers have been getting an unfair pass for just being slashers. I think it's time to raise our standards on what makes a good slasher movie. Let's get into it. Now, this is not a review of the 2022 Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, because I feel like you've all seen that by now and you've all made up your mind on whether you love it or hate it or fall somewhere in between, but chances are you probably either love it or you absolutely hate it. Instead, I want to look at the trend of recent horror movies that have come out where people just cannot decide whether they are good or bad and decide they just want to fight online about them until the actual death. This has happened pretty much anytime a new horror movie comes out, Candyman, Halloween Kills especially. And what I'm seeing a lot of is anytime somebody tries to have a criticism of these movies, like a valid criticism, whether it be story structure, character likability, whatever, the person who liked the movie immediately goes and says, well, it's a slasher movie, like, what did you expect? I mean, chainsaw go brrr, what did you expect? I mean, it's not gonna win an Oscar or anything. Horror movies don't win Oscars. And yes, horror movies don't win Oscars, but they do actually win Oscars sometimes. Now, a lot of it's for makeup effects and adapted screenplays, original screenplays, things like that. But Silence of the Lambs did win Best Picture back in 1991. And yes, it was adapted by the book of the same name from Thomas Harris, but the studio could have cheapened out and said, you know what, this Hannibal, he seems like a pretty good character on his own. Let's just make a regular slasher movie with Hannibal and call it a day. And that's what they did with the shitty one. And it didn't win an Oscar, but Silence of the Lambs is a great example of when you can elevate horror to art. And Silence of the Lambs, not a traditional slasher movie, but it has slasher features in it. Buffalo Bill is based on Ed Gein, who also is kind of the basis for Leatherface, so there is that connection there. And it's not just it's not going to win an Oscar argument. Some people just seem to be happy with anything with Leatherface's Leatherface in it, and they're like, this is fine, or Michael Myers' face. And it's time to raise the standard of what we expect from our slasher movies. You can make a good original slasher movie and it still be a good movie. We don't need to break the wheel. We don't need to have a lot of political subtext or whatnot, even though that's not always a bad thing. I really liked the 2021 sequel to Candyman that had that undertone in it. I thought that was very well done. I thought it was a very interesting movie. But just putting one of these established characters in another sequel isn't enough. It's not good enough. And if you are the kind of person who is lowering your standards and be like, well, it's got that person in it, I guess I have to enjoy it by default, like, that's on you. That's on you. And I'm not saying you're wrong for liking bad movies or movies that other people think are bad. I like a ton of bad movies. The Last Jedi is arguably one of the worst Star Wars movies according to some fans. They are wrong, but I love that movie. I love The Last Jedi. I also really enjoy the David Harbour Hellboy movie, which is not good at all. It's not good, but I enjoy it. I thought it was a fun movie. So liking bad movies inherently is not necessarily a bad thing. I just want the bad movies I enjoy to do something different, to try something different. Malignant. People did not like Malignant on some sides of the fence, but I like Malignant because it was so stupid. It was a fun, stupid mystery slasher movie that did a lot of fun things, and it was pretty original. I enjoyed that. You also have movies like Ready or Not. You've got You're Next. You've got the Babysitter movies, which are fun slasher movies that have likable characters, easy plots to follow, and you leave having a good time. If you watched my review for Scream 5, you know that Scream 5 isn't a perfect movie. It's got some real dumb stuff in it, but they still tried to reinvent the genre again, like they did back in 1996. If Scream had not come out back then, we would still be getting endless, dumb Friday the 13th sequels. And I love the Friday the 13th series, but some of those movies are bad. They can be fun bad, but they are still bad. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022 is fun bad if you look at it that way, but some people think it's like a work of art, and it's not. It is objectively not a great movie. It's not at all. And if you enjoy it, I'm glad they did it for you, but don't you think it'd be a lot nicer if the studios didn't rest on their laurels and try to do something new with Leatherface? I think the remake and the beginning, I thought those were fun movies in the mid-2000s. I thought they had a really good dynamic with the cast and crew. I thought the stories were easy to follow. But this new one just isn't great. And the same thing happened with Halloween Kills. Halloween 2018 was a great reinvention of the franchise. It brought things back to its roots, and they just did not stick the landing with Halloween Kills. Until we stop streaming these movies, until we stop going to see them in the theaters, they're going to keep making the same movie over and over with the same killers and the same formula because we're paying it. So if you want to see change, raise your standards. Raise your standards of what makes a good horror movie, what you enjoy seeing. You don't have to like everything Jordan Peele does or anything that A24 is doing to be considered a horror fan. Horror at its core is schlocky. It is. It's a killer in a mask with a knife killing teenagers. That is the bread and butter of the horror genre. I just want in the slasher genre to be the guy in the mask with a knife killing teenagers who are likable, maybe have a little bit of backstory other than like a vague reference to they were involved in a school shooting and some weird stance on wokeness. I don't think that's too much to ask. And I think once we start asking for this and enjoying new properties, I think that we're gonna enjoy a lot more movies. And that's kind of my rant on this. It may have been real rambly and made no sense and repeated myself, but I'm just tired of seeing the argument of, it's a slasher movie, what do you expect? You can expect more, expect more, expect more. But as always, what do you think? Am I just being an old man yelling at clouds? Should I just be happy that Leatherface makes chainsaw go broom and pulls a 30-year-old chainsaw out of a wall that has gas in it from 30 years but still works? Just don't think about it, Gavin. Just don't think about it too hard. Or maybe you're like me and you're like, yeah, maybe we should expect more from our horror movies. Maybe one day a slasher movie could win an Oscar if it's good enough. It probably won't. That's a dumb dream. But let me know in the comments below. As always, I appreciate you checking out this channel. If you like what you saw, please subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you thought. And as always, until next time, stay weird.